Hello, my sunflowers, and welcome back to the Lion's Den. So, as you can tell by the title, today we're going to talk about hoodoo and its status as a closed practice. For those of you who don't know what a closed practice is, you can pretty much infer it from the name. It is a practice where the doors are closed. This means you cannot just pick up the practice and participate in it all willy-nilly. There are steps involved to actually practicing hoodoo or any other closed practice. Generally, there are 3 ways that you can become involved in a closed practice. 1, you can be born into it. 2, you can be invited into it. Or 3, you can be initiated into it. Traditionally speaking, being born into hoodoo means that you are born into a familial line of practitioners. West and Central African practices are generally matrifocal or matricentral. Therefore, your magic is coming from your mother's line. So historically speaking, being born into the hoodoo practice means you are born into a matrilineal tradition of hoodoo. This means you're learning the roots, the herbs, the oils, all the things from mothers, grandmothers, so on and so forth, who got their information from their mothers and grandmothers, and so on and so forth. Now, the thing about this kind of setup is that the infrastructure is rapidly being destroyed that allows Black communities to pass on knowledge and information about hoodoo in this way. Before integration, Black folks were required by law to congregate and live in the same areas. And so this allowed strong community bonds and a very strong infrastructure for passing down clandestine knowledge, which hoodoo very much is. However, integration had really severe consequences on Black communities that many people talk about, but many still don't like to talk about. One consequence is that as time goes on, we can see that it is more and more rare to find that type of community infrastructure, which of course means that less and less people are having knowledge about hoodoo being passed down through their families. However, the great thing about hoodoo, root work, and conjure is that this system of practices was created specifically to change and to adapt to whatever circumstances defined Black life. What do I mean by this? Well, when we were all living together all the time, we had one particular way of passing down knowledge that fed off the fact that we were all together. Now that most of us are not together in the way we used to be, other ways of transferring this type of knowledge have been created. So today, being born into a hoodoo practice generally means you are born with clear, discernible African descent. You are connected to Black communities, and you exhibit a politics that is pro-Black at its core. So if that's you, then congratulations, you can practice hoodoo. Being invited into a closed practice and being initiated into a closed practice kind of go together, but they're different. I'm going to talk about them together though. Being invited into a closed practice means that an elder or somebody very well respected in the practice has given you the green light to take steps. These steps often lead to initiation, which is a series of events, a series of circumstances that you must withstand in order to show to the spirits and show to your elders that you've got what it takes. However, because of the history and the circumstances that define Black folks in our religion in the United States, hoodoo doesn't really do that. Now, mind you, there are different houses that exist within hoodoo, and there are different practices that are connected to the practice of hoodoo that certainly go about doing initiations. There are West African water spirit traditions that many people who practice hoodoo become involved with and are initiated into. Other hoodoo practitioners that undergo initiations are often doing so as a part of other closed West and Central African religious traditions. I'm talking Orisha devotion traditions like Ifa, Lukumi. I'm talking Vodun. I'm talking Candomblé. Those are all systems where initiation is very much still a part of the thing. Now, so far, I've been talking about initiations as this sort of group of activities or events or set of circumstances that are sanctioned by the elders and the spirits of a particular tradition. Now, you can be a Hoodoo practitioner who is not necessarily involved in these other closed traditions and still undergo initiations. My ancestral body sanctioned a set of events that initiated me. The same is true for many other Hoodoo practitioners. As they are building their relationship with their ancestors and with other benevolent spirits, part of that process is going through different trials or different events that forge your growth as a practitioner. And so for all the baby Hoodoos who are just now starting to come into your own, don't worry, you've got this, and there are experienced conjurers such as myself and many others who are here to guide you through the process. Speaking of which, the topic of next week's video will be on vetting spiritual practitioners, asking for qualifications, judging someone's ability to help you with spiritual matters as you go forth and seek help. Until then, stay blessed, stay hydrated, and get some sunlight.